coach Pat Noonan begin an opening statement on today's 1-1 draw.
I thought it was a good point for us. Was really pleased with the first 45. Despite going down a goal where we could have done a little bit better to end that play to prevent the goal. Found a good rhythm after conceding. And I thought it was important to level the score before half with how we were playing. Second half, there was still some good things. I think our final third play, was a little bit off in the decision making and how we were able to get into the box. I thought a lot of it was wide service where we could have been a little bit more patient. But to see the game out 1-1, I think is fair. They did have a couple good chances with Gazdag there towards the end where we could do a better job of marking in the box. But I'm pleased with the group coming out of the break with how they performed.
Yeah, Pat, you mentioned Gazdag did have a couple of good chances at the end there. Does that, does that give you pause in terms of how you feel about this result, or do you I would tend to think,
yes and no. Based on what led up, prior to those chances, I think there was some moments where we could have maybe found, the next goal, our second goal, and taken a lead. But, certainly late in the game, how do you figure out on the road how to defend the box where we're not conceding looks like that? Because those could have very easily been converted. But they do a good job of getting numbers forward and getting their strikers running at your back line, getting in front of goals. So you have to be very aware of those late runs and balls that either are knockdowns or balls that are cut back. And those are a couple of the moments where we could have done better with.
Were you concerned with the Bedoya goal? He hit it well.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any problem with how that play developed, or did you just give Bedoya credit?
Got to look back. We could end the play earlier. I know Tyler was looking to shield him or shield the attacker. I didn't have a good look, and I haven't seen the replay, to be honest. So maybe just clearing it and seeing if we could just live to fight another day. But once the play does go on, how do we prevent Ali from coming inside like that, where he does a good job of using the defenders as a shield to find the back post? He hits it well. There's nothing Roman can do, but we can certainly be better in closing that space so he can't get that shot off.
This has kind of been the blueprint for you guys. You come into tough environments, or sometimes at home, but you just have been finding a way to get results. This one came against a club that I think most people would safely say is an MLS Cup contender at this stage. Are you happy with what this looks like? We're in mid-June now. This team is in the playoff hunt. Do you feel good about what this is?
I do. We've had enough of a sample size with this group to believe that we can get results in these games, regardless of how we're playing. I thought that was one of our better performances through, probably 60 minutes. But they believe that they can get the result, or it wouldn't have happened, because we were down a goal on the road against a good team. But we found a way to get back into it, and you come into halftime with some thoughts about what you can continue to do to be successful in some of the areas of concern. I think the group, regardless of who we're playing against, certainly believes that we're capable of getting results. Do we understand the difficulty of it? Of course, but we've done it enough now against good teams to understand that this can be a constant.
Go ahead, Laurel.
Thank you. I know we tend to make a big deal about, you going back to Subaru Park. Just what was that experience like for you?
It was neat. It was neat to just be back in the building. It was a little bit different walking in, but it was nice to see some familiar faces, people that I have, a lot of respect for and good relationships with throughout the club. So that part was nice. It was nice to be standing on the other side from Jim and watching our teams compete. I think both would say that, you know, it was overall an enjoyable experience. The result, I think, certainly helps with that, but I enjoyed watching our guys play today. I thought they were very good.
And then, you know, for a while you guys had something like 65% possession. I think you still finished about 54% and had 17 shots. So obviously sharpness wasn't an issue coming back from a long break. What do you attribute that kind of connectivity to?
Well, I wish I could say that the lead up to this game was us looking like that for several weeks, but I do think the longer break allowed us to prepare for, you know, our opponent in a way where we could work on things, you know, over and over to try to find, you know, ideas of how we could have success. But the one area leading up to the break where we were struggling with was our quality with the ball, our spacing, how we were able to play through pressure, and then how we were able to attack after breaking pressure. And I thought our first 45 was probably as good as we've seen from this group this year against a team that knows how to pressure the ball. And so I was very pleased with that. But I think it was just the spacing. It was the ways in which we found switches of play, you know, whether it was through the middle, whether it was around. I thought that was going to be important in us being able to play higher up the field. But then it was also the ways in which we could play centrally from those wide channels to be able to put them under pressure and not rely on just, you know, wide service over and over. So credit to the players for having the composure to move the ball in certain ways to allow us to play on, you know, in their half of the field.
And then if I could ask one more, just Brandon's goal was just kind of a brave goal. I guess, is he okay? He seemed to come out of that okay. But how's he doing with his face? Or
Yeah.
And then what did you think of his goal?
Very brave, like you said. He came out of it okay. No issues there. I thought, you know, that was probably his strongest game overall. You know, it faded a little bit there at the end, but he still somehow, you know, does a good job of creating that chance with it, which I think Elliott gets a block on. But I thought his hold-up play, I thought his ability to turn and allow us to move forward. You know, we talked a lot about that during the break. It's the importance of against a team that presses well, against a team that will play forward quickly and cause problems. It's important for our attackers to secure the ball and allow us to move our lines. And he did a very good job of that, you know, for the most part throughout the game. And so very pleased with his performance.